not productive. And I was really touched by what she said because you would think we are thinking about construction, but outside the box, as a woman on the table, she's thinking about this other aspect of it, which can also help to improve the human life. So, when we talk about engineering, switching, it comprises of several elements. So, for instance, we need to have the technical intelligence, and or as students, whatever you are studying, you are learning, whatever skill you have to do and do it well. If you're programming, you have to know how to program well. If you are into designing, let's say, cables for wiring, you want to be able to do that well. You don't want to bend down people's houses. So the technical intelligence is very crucial. But then the whole engineering intelligence also require emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to have empathy for those that you are designing for and those who are going to use. And that is what gives you the kind of resilience when you face setback, even in the design, because you understand their pain, you understand what you want to solve for them. And so when you have that empathy towards the end users, it helps you to do a very good engineering work. And then also you have to bring on board strategic intelligence because you need to have a foresight for designing for sustainability and the long term. Most times, engineers, we are caught up in trying to rush and meet deadlines. Oh, you need to finish the work by this time. And so that becomes the ultimate purpose. But then we need to have that strategic intelligence, thinking about the long term, the sustainability of the solutions that we are designing as engineers. And to that, technical intelligence, emotional intelligence, and the strategic intelligence, we need to also add moral intelligence, which encompasses us being so um, sure that whatever solution that we are building or designing is serving the greater good. Okay, it's going to serve people and serve them well. It's not about you thinking, oh, that's a nice solution, but how is it going to serve the greater population and serve them well? So ethical intelligence also becomes very key. So if you look at the different elements that comes together for us to talk about engineering intelligence, you realize that women, our insight, our creativity, and our leadership become super important here. And it's something that we don't have to underestimate. So for the young and the students, maybe I'll like to share a bit of my journey. Um, I started growing up all that I love. I love to help people. So engineering is about people, and if you think about people and want to solve problem for them, it's a good enough space to start to become a very good engineer because you want to solve problem for society and you want to make sure that human experiences are better each day. And so to start with, I did science, of course, in secondary school, but I would say that those era we had so much restriction. If you don't do science, you don't do anything engineering. And today we can see that there's been a lot of flexibility and adaptability. I, for one, I was privileged when the government introduced pre-engineering, and that's from arts to engineering. And then I was lecturing with you, Max, and so I was assigned one to introduce them to computers because University of Mines and Technology was the public university to do that pilot. So we had students and the government wanted to see how that was going to work. And I had to use them to computers. I was assigned that. And you could see that even though the young ones did not do science, yet they had a passion for some of them had just read arts and business and other courses because my parents wanted me to. Sometimes along the line you face that challenge, but the desire of I want to do something engineering. And here they are trying to learn the basics, and so they do the pre-engineering for about 8 months and start to do any engineering program of their choice then with the University of Science and Technology. And I thought that was a very flexible option. And today there are even more avenues. We have the STEM schools and all of that. So you are not so much restricted in terms of what you can contribute as a young person right from the onset to the engineering space. But and I did science and I went on I had a scholarship. I went to do my undergraduate in Russia Federation. I did computer science and undergraduate for my degree and I also did computer science for my master's program. And my PhD was in information systems at the University of Cape Town, South Africa. And into my workspace, I started to work in the industry very briefly before joining academia, and I've been in academia for like 16 years. And one of the things I got involved with before I joined academia was the automation of the toll booths. When the government wanted to automate the toll booths in 2009, the company that had the contract employed me as the the IT project supervisor. And so I had to see to the idea of how we are going to implement that. And these components of intelligence that I've talked about, you realize that you have to bring all of them to bear, understanding how people are going to use the technology you are going to implement. You put a toll booth, you say it's automated, how people are going to react, how they are going to use it, what if somebody is new and doesn't know and just bumps into the automated booths. We have to calculate the rate. So many things come into place, and when you sit at the table, um, just being told, you see that you bring a unique perspective to all the discussions that is going on there. And over the years, we have come to realize is that we only are able to produce better solutions when we have a diverse perspective. I am also, aside being in academia, privileged to lead Inclusive Tech Group organization that we are committed to ensuring that technology benefits everyone. And so I focus a lot of my research on the inclusive design, like now all the emerging technologies, generative AI. For every technology, I want to see how inclusive it is and how it's going to benefit everyone. And so I asked the question, everyone the technology that you create, if you are thinking of creating anything, any design at all, think about it and everyone use it. It's the question that I ask myself, and that simple question is what has shaped my career, taking me from the classroom to the research laboratories and to different international conferences and just to share across the communities in Ghana, to one important lesson that I've learned that technology can only be successful when everyone can benefit from it. And so somebody who's biased with the computer science space, that's one thing I realized over the years, that technology is only beneficial. Actually, when people can adopt and adapt to it, they are able to harness the full benefits. And for us to do that, we need to make sure that we bring the different perspectives on board and design solutions that will allow everyone to use them. So talking to you, the young one today, maybe you thinking, oh, for me to be a good engineer, I have to be the best mathematician. I need to be very scientific. I would say just have the desire to solve problems. Start it from there, because good engineers are people who always think about solutions for societal problems. So if you want to be a very good engineer, I think that is the space to start from thinking about people who have that empathy, feel the pain people go through, and think about what can I do, what solutions can I provide to make sure people have better experience. And always engineer solutions. And if you come into my space like computer science, you can think about a woman like Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace was the first woman or the first person who actually introduced computer programming. But down the line, it became like, oh, computer programming is for the men. But it actually a woman who introduced computer programming, and we know what programming is doing in our world today. And for us to have a very safe space, the future requires more women engineers. And so what institution of engineering technology and women engineering are doing, it's an amazing task that they are trying to bring the young ones, the young women on board to make sure they are enthused about engineering, they sleep and wake up thinking about societal problems, and that should drive them to be innovative in their thinking, and see how they can design solutions for the future. Not only because women need engineering, but then actually engineering needs women. Okay? And so your creativity, your leadership, your empathy. Remember, I talk about having emotional intelligence as part of engineering intelligence. That empathy, that's very unique with us women. Our resilience is unmatched. I know we have very strong men always by our side, but women are resilient, unmatched. And these are attributes that make us very competent engineers and very dedicated to what we do. So you don't have to underestimate the value that you bring as a woman to the table. You don't have to underestimate your strength and what you can contribute to society. Always think about the fact that engineering needs you. So to every young girl out there today, do not let her convince you that engineering is not for you. Engineering is boring. Engineering, it's so hard. Start from thinking about society and the problems society face. Technology, engineering solutions, they do not transform our space, but the people do. So think about the people. And when you have a desire to help people, you have the desire to think deep and find solutions that can help people to have better experience each day. So don't think you have to wait until you know everything to start something. The little idea you have, the little solution, you can talk to somebody. Your generation is so blessed with amazing inventors all over. I don't know if growing up I was able to go to such a space and meet great people. My only opportunity I remember I had was I was chosen for maths and science, mathematics for girls clinic, and it was I was representing my school. I went to Provo Girls in every secondary school. I think had just one pair, and that campaign I remember that year happened in Pope Jones. That is when I got to see the late Professor Mills's wife, and she was there to speak to us. And I was like, okay, I've met a very, very big person today. But then we had other women who were there to talk, and that was my only opportunity, like hearing women in different fields talk. And I was like, wow, this is great. It's amazing. There are great things that we can do in the future. But that was all. Today we have mentors all over. Look at the opportunity you have. Amazing women yes come to your feet and they are talking to you. You've got to share contact, you've got to have a panel discussion, get their numbers and all of that. So you grab this opportunity. It's such an amazing opportunity that you don't have to miss and make sure you are connected and you follow mentorship which is being provided to you. Such an amazing opportunity. And for us in the academic space, for us in the industry, in institutions, when we think about the creativity women bring on board, the diverse, the uniqueness, of their opinion and how it improves the solutions that we build. We should just encourage more girls into engineering in our institutions by creating the enabling environment where women can thrive, providing mentorship like we are doing. I'm so glad I'm seeing amazing men who are here to support and to help us to mentor this young one. And leadership opportunity also, we need to encourage women. Sometimes women rising into a leadership position and it looks like, yeah, where is this woman going? Iron lady, hard woman, we begin to hear a whole lot of nice, let me say nice words. That's how I take them. But we need to encourage them. We've all found ourselves in different spaces, even in academia, when I started younger, by bringing your own view, diversity into wonder, by bringing your own view, diversity into whatever that you are designing or you are contributing to. And just know that the